So, Grace, first talk to us about how you ended up at USC again.
Well, I always wanted to go far from home. I had a few looks at closer to home, but my goal was to kind of explore and get out of my ground. So that was kind of why I picked Aiken. I loved the atmosphere, the weather, the coaching staff, and I was excited to start something here away from home and just experience life in a different way.
And so you had a solid first season, and just talk about, because you started just about every game this season. Talk about your freshman year first off.
It was really fun. I played under a lot of people that had experience, so I learned a lot my freshman year fast. Coach made it well known that, if you put the work into it, like, you'll be able to play. And so that was something for me that, if I could work hard enough to play, and it was well worth it. I enjoyed it a lot. It was really fun playing with everyone on the team.
And then you got hurt your sophomore year?
I got hurt freshman year. I broke my hand,
Right.
and then my freshman summer, after I broke my hand, I went home, started working out again, and right towards the end, right when I was coming back in my sophomore year, I had hurt my knee working out. It was kind of like a fluke thing. And I had it looked at by my doctor down there, and it was the same knee I tore my ACL on in high school. So they looked at that and said everything was fine. Just kind of to rest it for a few weeks, stay off of it. Basically, they thought it was from overuse. So I came back here and stuff, had a few doctors here look at it and stuff. Tried playing on it, but it didn't get where I wanted it to get.
When you were trying to get back, was it the pain that was causing you to not be able to?
Yeah, it was a lot of discomfort, and I had a few MRIs, didn't show anything, no tears, so it was very frustrating, the whole process of, there was pain there when I was running or playing, but there was no answer there, so that was very frustrating I felt that, but there was nothing there to prove that.
How did you combat it and say, hey, there's something still an issue when everyone else is like, hey, it doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it?
I had to trust in God a lot of it. It was very frustrating. I remember a lot of times in the season, around January, Coach and I had come together and decided that the rest of the season I was just going to figure out what was wrong with my knee. Not try to get back on the court, but just try to figure out what was wrong with my knee. And I remember crying about that, thinking there is nothing wrong with it. All the doctors are saying there's nothing wrong with it. And finally, I had tried everything. At MRIs, I had dry needling for 10, 15 times. Nothing seemed to take the pain away for a long term, enough time for me to play. And so finally, Brandon had brought me to see Dr. Guy in Columbia, and he had talked to me about a few athletes that he's come in contact with that have had the same issue that I had. There's no studies on it. There's no published, record of the surgery or anything like that. So I was very lucky to have found him in that situation, because without that, I think back and I'm like, if I wasn't here, if I wasn't at Aiken, if I didn't follow through all of these things, I probably would not have found him. And so I was grateful for that. But I had to trust in God a lot during that process, because it wasn't fun just to sit off in the sidelines and know that there was pain keeping me from doing what I loved, but there was no proof of anything.
And so, with your leg, how long were you out?
I heard it right around the beginning of August. I ended up playing about, I want to say 6 or 7 games that season. Again, it was just kind of in and out, it'd start hurting and I was out for the game. Tried to play in 6 and 7 games. But I was pretty much out, Coach and I talked about, we don't really even count those games because they were pain games, and didn't play much or didn't play my best. So I was pretty much out since August to, I had my surgery in May. So pretty much from till then, I went the whole season without really knowing any answers. I found my answers probably around February, mid-February. I found out what was going on with my knee, and then COVID hit, so surgery was pushed back and everything, so had surgery in May.
And so being able to get back to the court, what's it been like going through the rehab process and being able to step back on the court?
I was worried about it. I think one of the things that comes with knee injuries is the fear of just getting back out there because you don't want to do it again. For me, it was, I don't even know what I did to do this. So I was frustrated and scared that, how am I going to be, kind of how everyone else felt. But I knew that it was, the rehab part was the same process as my ACL. So just a lot of tedious work into it, therapy constantly and stuff. You had to push through the pain of, just getting back out there and stuff. And then getting in shape and getting my shot back and, handles and everything like that. But, this is something I've done for many years of my life, so I didn't doubt that I wasn't going to be able to do it. I knew that it was going to be hard. I knew that it was going to be hard to prove to coach and everyone else that, hey, I'm just as good as I was my freshman year. Just a few setbacks in the way. But, again, I trusted God with all of that, he would, is going to continue to guide me on the path that he wanted me on. And so I feel like as long as I put that work into it and believed in that, I'd get where I wanted to get.
Being a nursing major, was that helpful or hurtful, trying to figure out, like, in your own mind, trying to say, what do you do to be able to get back and try to diagnose it?
Yeah, there were definitely a lot of points where I know Coach would look me in the eyes and I was, like, totally lost. I was nervous. Last semester was my first semester in nursing school, but, the build-up to get into nursing school is not easy either. The season I was out, my sophomore year, those 2 semesters were very important for me to get good grades so I could get into nursing school. So with not playing basketball, I felt like, I was missing a part of my life. So that was really hard to, go to basketball practice, come back, and have that motivation and, energy and stuff to be able to put towards work. But I think there were, like, 2 separate goals there that I needed to stay focused on. Basketball, like, it is what it is right now. I'll get there in the end. But for school, like, I knew I had to keep focusing on that because my goal for that was to get into nursing school.
When you're back on the court for the first time, but I know it was during your first practice back, and you felt like yourself, what was that feeling like?
Awesome. It feels good to, like, look at Coach and say, like, I'm in no pain whatsoever. It took a while to get there, going back slowly, making sure I was not overworking my knee again and stuff. But it feels great to be back out there playing with no restrictions and no pain and pretty much being able to do any amount of work or anything I want to do without having to limit myself with anything.
So this is a unique year with, missing games and everything like that. But providing that we get back to normalcy and, you're able to go through this and graduate, what are your goals, on the court and off the court now?
On the court, I just want to continue playing with our team, do what we can with, what we're given. It's been a rocky season so far, so as long as we just stay focused, put the work in and stuff and be ready when, the time comes for games or whatever. Off the court, I hope to graduate, somewhat work probably in pediatrics for a few years and then go back to school to become a nurse practitioner. That's kind of my end term goal. No rush for that. But yeah, so I graduate nursing school. I would like to, work for a few years, be able to kind of travel and stuff and settle down and start a family.
And what kind of advice do you give to those people that maybe have gone through an injury and are doubting that they'll get back to where they were?
Yeah, I definitely had to surround myself with people that believed in me and, like, trusted the same thing I trusted. My family was a big help with that part. Like, my dad loves watching me play, and I knew how hard it was for him not to watch me play. Not that my mom doesn't like that either, but my dad's a big supporter. And so surrounding myself, I'd call him after every practice and stuff, and, his positivity through all of that too, of, hey, you're going to get back out there. You just need to push through it and stuff helped me, even though there were times where I'd walk in, and coach would be able to tell by my face, like, it wasn't an easy day. There weren't easy days. There were times where I struggled through all of it, but I definitely just had to trust in God that there was a plan through all of this. Freshman year when I broke my hand, I had to trust in God that there was a plan through all of this. So yeah, that was kind of something for me, that I had to surround myself with people that, saw good in other places in my life that were able to bring that up, and then trust in God with that too.